Hello to you all. Welcome again to Test Math Lesson. Test Math Lesson, we play with numbers. Yeah! Today we are going to look at another beautiful topic. And this topic is about
Trigonometric equation.
how to solve trigonometric equation. Very good. So before we begin our lesson for today, let's look at our learning outcomes. So our learning outcomes on the slide there, the first one talks about we have to understand sine and cosine of complementary angle. 2. Solve quadratic equation. So before you're able to solve this, we need to understand the sine, the cosine of complementary angles. So I have prepared a brief note for you that will guide you. So take your note and your pen and write it down. So this is the note I have for you. Trigonometric equation, sine and cosine of complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum add up to 90 degrees. Examples include 30 degrees and 60 degrees. So 30 degrees and 60 degrees, when you put them together, it gives us what? 90 degrees. 46 degrees and 44 degrees. When you put them together, it also gives you what? 90 degrees, and so on. So the summary of the sine, cosine, and tangent of a special angles are indicated on the trigonometric table. So I'm going to show you the trigonometric table on the next slide, the comparison there. Okay, so that sine 30 degrees equals to half, and cos 60 degrees is also half. Okay, this means that the sine 30 degrees and cos 60 degrees is equal to half. Also, sine 60 degrees is equal to the root of 3 out of 2. And cos 30 degrees equals to the root of 3 out of 2. So this is equal to this. So that's if x and y. I'm going to use x and y. Okay, some books you see alpha and beta, right? So if x and y are two complementary angles, then sine x is equal to cos y. All right. This means that if theta is any given angle, this means that if theta is any given angle in the first quadrant, when you look at the Cartesian plane, okay, you realize that the first quadrant, okay, the first quadrant takes positive. All right, so in the first quadrant, cos or sine, cosine, and tangent are all what? Positive values. All right, from the first quadrant. Okay, now that's why I'm saying that if theta is any given angle in the first quadrant, that's 0 less than theta less than 90 degrees, it is also an acute angle. Then sine bracket open 90 minus theta bracket close equals to cos theta. Alright, so the whatever you have here is equal to the cos here. And the same thing vice versa, cos theta equal to sine bracket open 90 degrees minus what? Theta. Beautiful. Therefore, sine theta equal to cos bracket open 90 degrees minus theta bracket close. So this is the equation 1. I call this formula 1. Then cos theta equal to sine bracket open 90 degrees minus what? Theta. Formula 2. So this is what we are going to use to solve. So when you want to solve this trigonometric equation, you need to know the identity that you are going to use to solve this. So you can use the first identity here or the second identity, and you arrive at the same answer. Are we together? Now, let's take our table and compare something there small. From the table on the slide, we have 0 degrees to 90 degrees. So we have we have sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. Cos sine 0 degrees will give us 0, and sine 30 degrees will give us half. Sine 45 degrees will give us 1 out of root 2, which we can have root 2 out of 2, rationalization. Then sine 60 also give us what? Root 3 out of root 2, as we said it in the notes. So we can compare and see that from the table, sine 0 degrees will give us 0, and cos 90 degrees will give us 0. Okay, then we can also realize that from the table, cos 30 degrees is equal to, sine 30 degrees equals what? Give us half, and cos 60 degrees also give us half. So that is what we have on the table. So when you study the table, you realize that the values given, some of them are equal to each other. So this one is going to help us to solve this trigonometric equation with an ease. You have seen it from the table yourself. So that's the table I've projected from you. Okay, so let's look at examples that we are going to solve today. I'm going to solve, we have 4 examples. I'm going to solve 3 of them for you, and you solve the rest 1. Okay, so before I start this lesson solving the example, if today is your first time of following our lesson, don't forget to tap on the notification bell there to notify you anytime we load a new lesson. And thank you, may God bless you. Let's get to our board and start with our example. So our example 1 says that given that sine bracket open 5x minus 28 bracket close all degrees equal to cos bracket open 3x minus 50 bracket close all in degrees, theta 0 degrees less than x less than 90, condition given, find the value of x. So from here you put down your solution nicely. After your solution, you bring down the equation. Now we need to know the identity that we are going to use to solve this. So here we are going to say that using the trigonometric identity, either I'll use sine or cos. All right, so I've shown you the formula already on the slide. So here you're saying that using the trigonometric identity. So which one should I use now? I'll go with the first one, which is what? Sine x equal to cos bracket open 90 degrees minus x bracket close or degrees. So this is the identity I'm going to use to solve, right? So any place I see sine, I'll throw in the value into this. So this is the value. Any place you see x, you put it, all right, you replace it by this. Okay, so we are going to have big brackets. Or I'm going to replace this to at this. Okay, so in place of the x, I'm going to have 5x minus 28 or degrees. So let's open the bracket now. So we are going to have this times this will give us positive, right? So like terms, this and this are from the same family. So 90 plus 28 will give us 118. So this is what we are having now. All right, or degrees. Okay, so now after getting this equation, please don't forget to name this one equation 1. Okay, then we name this one equation 2. All right, so for the next stage now, after getting this one nicely, we say that putting equation 2 into what equation 1. So what is our equation 1 here? Sine bracket open 5x minus 28 all bracket degrees equals to cos bracket open 3x minus 50 all in degrees. Right. So with our equation 1, wherever I see sine now, I'll replace with the cos now. Okay. So now I'm going to have, instead of the sine, this equation, I'm going to write this. I'm going to have cos 118 minus cos. So in the simple way of doing this, I'll take out the cos because cos is here, cos is here. They are all the same. So I'll take out the cos. So I'll do away with the cos now. Next stage now, I'm going to solve this by having now we have this nice equation here. So what the next step? You group like terms, all right? You group like terms. 18. When 50 move, you transpose 50. This is negative 50. When you transpose, it becomes what? Positive. Then minus 5x. So when you transpose this becomes right. So 118 plus 50. 3x plus 5x. Now from here, we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. Now, what is the coefficient of x here? That is 8. So I'll divide this one by. So 118 divided by 8. How many times? That is 21 times. Okay. So our x here is equal to 21 degrees. So this is our final answer. So the value of x now is equal to 21 degrees. You can substitute this 21 degrees in place of x, and you see the beautiful value that you are going to get. All right. Now let's look at our example 2. Now let's have our example 2. Given that sine 3y equals to cos 2y, 0 degrees less than y less than 90 degrees. Find the value of y. So here, put down your solution nicely. Then, so with our solution, we have sine 3y equal to cos 2y. All right. So I'm going to use the trigonometric identity. Some books you say what? From complementary angle. All right. So you know what the complementary angles are. So I'm going to use what? Using the trigonometric identity here. So you are going to say that with a trigonometric identity, which am I using? The first one I use sine. This time I'm going to use cos. So I'm going to say cos y is equal to minus y or degrees. So now I'm going to use cos. So when I use cos, when you are trying the second method, you can use sine. Okay, we will arrive at the same answer. So let's go now. So what I'm going to do here is having cos y equal to, whatever I have cos here, our cos here is this 2y. So I'm going to say what? Sine or sin 90 minus. So I'm going to replace in with the y I have, which is what? 2y. 2y. Okay. So don't forget to name this one equation 1. Okay. Name this one equation 2 because the variables are only ones here. We have the constant and the variable. All right. So here we have the nice equation here. Okay. So what the next step? We say what? Putting. This one is very simple. Putting putting equation 2 into what? Equation 1. So what is our equation 2 here? We have cos y equal to this, right? So I'm going to have sine 3y equal to sine 90 minus 2y of degrees. So the next step is to do what? You write sine, right? Take out the sine. Very simple there. Now I'm going to have 90 minus 2y. Nice equation. What the next step now? You group like terms, right? We are going to group like terms. Very good. So 3y plus 2y equals what? 90. So when you have group like terms here, so 3y plus 2y will give us what? Give us 5y equals what? 90 degrees. So now we are going to divide both sides by 5, or the coefficient of y. And what's the coefficient of y there? Which is what? 5. So we divide this one by 5. We divide this one also by 5. All right. So this will take out this. Okay. And this will take out this. How many times? 90 divided by 5. So 90 divided by 5 is 18. So y is equals to what? 18 degrees. Okay, t divided by 5 will give us what? 18 degrees. So this is the value for y. So it means that anytime you throw in the value of y, which is equal to 18, into this equation, you get the same value. Sine will be equal to what? Cos, right? Okay. So let's take the last example. Example 3. Now let's take our example 3. Example 3. Given that sine bracket open x minus 10 bracket close all degrees equals to cos bracket open x plus 10 bracket close all degrees, right? This is a condition given to us. Find the value of x. Right. So we go. Please, when you're writing, please write it in full. Okay. Now from this, you say what? Using trigonometric identity or from complementary angles. So for me, I like using trigonometry, right? So using identity. So the first one, I use sine and a cos. So this time I'm going to use sine. So when I use sine, you use cos for me, right? Very simple. It's very simple. Those are going to write wasi. Take it very serious, right? This implies With my identity, I'm going to say that so this is the identity I'm going to use, right? Very good. So the next step is to do the substitution. Don't forget to name this equation 1. Okay, so I'm going to have, so we have this nicely. Okay, so let's open the bracket now. This and this, give this plus, so this plus this will give us, or it's going to give us, so it's going to give us 100 minus x all degrees, right? So we name this equation 2, don't forget. So don't forget, the next step is what? Putting, right? Interesting. Putting so putting equation 2 into what? Equation 1, right? You can also do it vice versa, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to have, wherever I see sine x now is going to be what? Cos of this. I'm going to have cos 100 minus x equal to cos x plus 10. Okay, now what is the here? So very simple, I'll take out the cos. So when I take out the cos now, I'm left with what? So this equation you're having, 100 minus x equal to x plus 10. Okay, so you're going to have group of like terms now. You're going to group like terms. So I'm going to have positive 10 when you transpose become negative. All right, x negative x when you transpose becomes positive. Good. So 100 minus 10 will give us x plus s will give us, good. The next stage is to divide both sides by the coefficient of x there. All right, so we divide it. We are going to have how many times? 45. All right, so our x here equals to what? 45 degrees. So the value of x now is 45 degrees. This brings us to the end of our lesson. The last example that I have on the slide, please try and do it. And those who are going to write exams, please take this topic very seriously. You may come across it. Don't forget to like, to share, and comment. May God bless you all. See you again in my next lesson. Bye bye.